Yo, what is up? Welcome back, and thanks so much for making it this far. So I got this buddy who, he doesn't ride a lot. You may remember him from this video or this video. Anyway, when he does ride, he doesn't ride with a lot of technique. He kind of relies on the point and shoot and pray method. He gets lucky some of the time, but he's having a lot of trouble finding luck on jumps. What I did notice was a lot of the issues that he's having are very common. So I thought it'd be a good time to break out the purple ramp and break down some foundational jumping skills for him. So let's take a look.
Does this look steep to you from the front? Like in your mind,
yeah.
Does it look steep?
Yeah, it kind of does, yeah.
So that's the first thing, like people that throw people off when they ride like legit jumps, is they always look steep, and that's like the main concern.
Oh, okay.
And that's one of the biggest issues, is because what happens when you ride a steep transition like that,
yeah,
is you go back because you try to like push through it or get away from the steepness.
Yeah.
And going back will buck you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to explain this with my hands. Okay, so a big jump, imagine that's a big transition.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can hold this in my mouth. Okay, that's a big transition. Your body weight's coming into a big transition, and there's plenty of ground to transition your mass up that big transition. Little transitions, they don't do that. So you just hit it and it's like a bump, and your force goes through it, and that little bump hooks your back wheel because all your weight's above it because you push back, and it just kind of bucks you over the bars. So first thing is, when you ride over this, stay further forward than you think you have to.
Okay.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work on it right here, and then we'll slide it down and we'll make it a little bit more interesting. We'll give him a little bit of gap, and that means he's gonna have to commit to it, or he's just gonna case it. And it's a safe case, it's not a very dangerous case. So when you're coming at this, stay forward and put your knees over your toes like this. And when you get to it, you don't have to like sink down to pop up the jump. Just keep your legs strong, okay? You can conceivably go over this without popping or standing up. And as long as your legs are strong and don't let that force from the jump push into your legs and have your body sink backward, you'll be okay, okay? So just ride straight off of it with strong legs. You don't have to pop.
When things are going wrong and you're trying to track them down, there are a lot of variables, and oftentimes it's easier to start back from the foundational technique to achieve good results versus trying to sort out what the issue is. So the foundational technique, I believe, is you ride toward a jump with your knees over your toes. That'll ensure that you stay above your bottom bracket. You keep your knees bent, and as you go up the transition, it's crucial that you do not let that transition cause you to sink into your bike, squat into your bike, or shift backward. You need to stay in that central position. Foundational technique means that you do not even have to pop going off the lip. So with this technique, you can ride virtually any transition and you will not get bucked or tossed forward. In addition, it's impossible not to ride the full transition when you do this, and it will really help with your timing when it becomes time for you to add that stand up or pop. This is where I wanted him to start, but he knew this video was going on YouTube and he wanted to be a hot shot.
So when you landed,
That was good. That wasn't a very good jump.
you were off balance a little bit in the air. So what that would do on a bigger jump would be a dead sailor.
Yeah.
So dead sailors are super dangerous. I think what you did was you did pop a little bit just because of it's out of habit, and you just popped a little bit early. So your back wheel's still tracking up the jump, and you unweighted your bike and your back wheel tracked off crooked.
Okay.
We're gonna slow-mo him.
So he took several more goes at it with the goal of not popping, and he just could not pop. So we moved on. However, he really never got the opportunity to feel out the transition, and it's going to impact him as we go along here.
Okay, so see how you're coming in fine, your knees are over your toes? Right there, right at the end, you let your back wheel suck up into you, and what that did was it just completely threw you off balance because your back wheel was still in contact with the ramp, but when you let it suck up into you, your body went off balance. Right there, your body went off balance.
A bigger jump as you go.
Yeah, see how like your bars immediately turned because you felt your body going off balance?
Yeah.
So have stronger legs all the way through it. Like your legs should still be strong right there.
Mm-hmm.
Your heels should be, I would press into your heels more too.
Mm-hmm.
So your heels should be down. And that'll take away that bucking sensation a little bit. Because that will be dangerous on bigger jumps.
Yeah.
So he rode BMX a little bit when he was a kid. He never raced or anything. But he rode a lot of dirt bikes in his teens. So he's having a little bit of trouble. He remembers like the skills that he used on the dirt bike, and he's trying to transition those skills to a mountain bike. They're similar, it definitely helps, but they're also a little bit different. So I'm trying to work through that. All right, so You're coming in fine, that's good, but you sink down right there and you pop a little too early. So right here, you're sinking into it. You start standing up right there. Your back wheel's not even on the transition yet, and you start standing up, and you're already stood up right there.
Yeah.
See, and then because you're already stood up, all your body can do then is to let that back wheel suck up into you. And right there is the height of your arc. You should have this position right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Just be a little delay. Okay.
Yeah, so delay everything just a little bit. I can say this, you're still absorbing it a little bit, but it's not, you're still in control.
Yeah.
I think you just need more reps.
Yeah.
And now I think you need something to really motivate you to push off of it rather than absorb it. So we're gonna move it down here.
So I moved the ramp down to a very small gap. It's nothing dangerous should he case it, but it's enough to give him motivation to hopefully use the full transition.
Okay. I definitely saw two things there. You absolutely absorbed the last third of it because you wanted your speed to get you over the gap rather than boosting over it, which is completely normal for like the early stages for jumping like you are. Another thing you did was you pushed forward to clear the gap, which that's a really bad habit because if you land and you need to like steer, all your weight's in the rear and your front end is really light. So when you land and your front wheel's not weighted, you're really gonna have issues with traction. Also, if you case a tabletop and you've pushed forward trying to clear it, it's the worst buck you can imagine. It's like getting kicked by a donkey in your ass.
I didn't want to case it that bad.
That was a perfect case.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I went forward a little bit.
Yeah. But let me ask you something. When you went forward and you knew you were going to case it, did the thought cross your mind, okay, I shouldn't be this far back on the bike if I'm going to case it?
I knew it.
Because you didn't push nearly as far forward as I've seen you. Yeah. You got to clear this. You got to boost off of it. It's not about speed. It's about the boost. So that pop was just a little too early. Yeah. And you got bucked because you had that speed. Yeah. And that's what I'm telling you. If your timing's off on big jumps, you're going to get really bucked. Yeah. Just you got to figure out timing. It doesn't happen like with 3 runs or 4 runs. It's just something you got to work with. So this is unorthodox, maybe ill-advised, but I'm gonna, because I know that you understand the mechanics of jumping and you have like that natural talent. So I'm gonna put this in front of the jump, so you actually have to get over this. Okay. And that's gonna force you to use the ramp to get up over it rather than worry about distance. Yeah. But I'm gonna move the ramp forward because I don't want you getting bucked trying to get over this and then coming up short, okay? Yeah. Do this for me. Remember, you still have to land after you get over it. All right, so we're gonna use this stick here to try to get him to use all of the transition. Way better, dude. So what you did there is you pushed into more of the transition because you knew you had to use that transition to get higher rather than suck it up to get further. All through the transition, man. Nice. Yeah, way better.
That one felt good.
Yeah, it was way better. So you had more of a natural arc. You used your upper body to like drive your arc. You didn't push the bike in front of you. It was almost a perfect jump. Okay, because this jump is so mobile, what I've done is I've changed up the environment. I've pulled it to a trail. It's funny how when you ride at something in a different environment, it just feels completely different. Now we don't want to change the jump up because he's still learning on basic skills and he's trying to build consistency with those skills. So we don't want to completely change all of the variables up, but by changing the environment, it's going to feel completely different for him. And why is that important? Because when you ride jumps, there's all sorts of different distractions around you, okay? So you're never going to have a jump that's in a complete open grass area like where we were practicing. So we'll give him something here different to think about, see if it messes with his brain. How much poison am I stepping in? Okay, we're going to slow-mo this to see improvement.
Off the jump, but it felt weird in the air.
All right. So this is a great example to show what I believe causes most dead sailors. So while he's still going up the transition, he pops or stands up, and he's at full extension while his back tire is still tracking up the transition. He popped way too early. And when you pop, it's very hard to pop straight up. So if you pop slightly to a side while your tire is still tracking, even if your back tire tracks crooked a centimeter or two going off the transition because you've popped crooked, that translates to quite a bit of distance in the air and on the landing.
Where'd you land? You landed way over to the right?
I think I'm skying it. Yeah.
Because what you're doing, you're getting tired, I think.
Yeah.
Because right here, well, it's going to be hard for me to control this. Like, you're fine here, and then you just kind of give up right here.
Yeah.
So no matter what you're learning, the most important thing to recognize is what you're doing wrong. So this little session here really helped him to determine what he's doing wrong. It's timing. He's just popping way too early. That is something that I'm confident that he can fix with repetition. And once you get your timing down, it really does translate to different sized jumps. It becomes rather intuitive. Your body kind of learns the motion and you visually know when you have to stand up and pop a lip. So he'll continue to work on his timing, and hopefully the next time you see him, he'll be riding much bigger jumps full of confidence. Thanks so much. If you enjoyed this, subscribe and give it a like. I appreciate it so much. Peace.